Let's start with the top of the table clash in the Premier League, Liverpool and Spurs. And let's start with, shall we, Mark Ogden.
Of course.
Augie, I thought this was a really, really good game. We've seen supposed big clashes where there was fear of losing, fatigue, blah, blah, blah. Both these teams, of course, drew over the weekend. I don't know if they were holding something back, but I thought we had a really entertaining game, and I thought Liverpool played really, really well.
Yeah, it was a great game, and I agree that Liverpool played well, but I thought Tottenham played well as well in a different kind of way. You're really lucky at Liverpool to be sat really high up in the main stand, so you can see how the teams line up, and Tottenham, by and large, were a 4-4-2, but the organisation, the banks of four, it was so rigid, and you could tell that Mourinho has drilled his players for days and days now to get this formation right. In the second half, they were. Sometimes it was the back six. They had the wing backs dropping in. It was really interesting to see from a tactical point of view how they lined up. But I thought that, Jose's got his team working really well now. I think Højbjerg's made a massive difference. And when they've got an outlet like Son and Kane up front, they've got a real chance. But Spurs look like they've matured a lot under Mourinho. And I think, although they lost last night, they definitely have what it takes to last the pace this season. I think that, Jose will always be criticised for the way he sets his team up, parking the bus. But he wasn't parking the bus last night. They hit the post with Bergwijn. Kane had two good chances. Son scored his goal. So
all those chances you described, though, right? And I'll play devil's advocate. Weren't they all, except for one of them, chances in transition or set pieces?
Yeah.
Well,
let me help you. Yes.
That. Yes. The answer is yes.
Do you think so? I mean, listen. The transition, whatever, they were good chances. I mean, Alisson's mistake for Kane's lob was a decent effort. Bergwijn hit the post. What I'm saying is that it's fine margins, isn't it? It's fine margins between a big win at the top of the table and a defeat. Liverpool created more chances than Tottenham, but it's not all about how you cut teams apart, the flair you play with. If you want to play counter-attacking, that's fine. If you do it well, like Tottenham did, no problem with that.
No, I completely agree that it's fine. Mourinho won a treble, but and I think the test, we've said this before, the test is always going to be not so much in these games against a team like Liverpool, who are going to demand the ball. They're going to play that way. It's the right way to play against them, given the players Mourinho has. The concern is always, what happens when you go and you play against teams that park the bus. And sometimes they've done that and they scored first and then they absolutely destroyed them. Other times they've been able to pass around them. Other times down the road, I think it's legitimate to wonder whether they can continue doing that. Jules, yeah. Klopp and Mourinho felt slightly differently about this game afterwards, right?
Certainly at the end, Augie, when Mourinho said to Klopp when they shook hands, the better team lost tonight, and Klopp clearly was very surprised and like, really? And you could see on his face. And then what I loved is that after that little altercation, and then Mourinho goes back and says something, then Klopp starts celebrating really loud in Mourinho's ears with his own players on the pitch when the two managers were on the pitch. I mean, Mourinho's got a point.
That wasn't all just fun, was it?
It was not just fun. You could see the aggro between the two, and I guess the competitiveness, I guess. But did you think the best team lost? But certainly, Mourinho has a point, and he was clearly frustrated at the end because of the chances that they created. And Klopp was like, well, we were the better team. We won. We deserve to win.
Yeah, it's playground stuff, isn't it? And listen, the best team didn't lose. I think Liverpool shaded it, but it was very close. And I think that both teams would have deserved to come out with a point or even a win. I don't think Spurs would have been harsh victors if they'd won. Look, Mourinho and Klopp are both as bad as each other, but with Jose, you know what you get.
Can we just say they're as good as each other rather than as bad as each other? Because I have no problem with this. Like, why is it bad as each other?
Why is Mourinho saying to Klopp, the better side lost? Managers don't say that to each other.
They're as bad as each other. Jose will always be painted as the villain this episode or any episode because of his track record, and he started it on Tuesday before the game, stirring it up a little bit, talking about Liverpool's injuries, which is fine. But Klopp gets away with it a little bit because he'll say something and he'll have his laugh and his giggle, and people love Klopp because he's Klopp. But Klopp reacts pretty sourly at times to any kind of result that goes against him. Pep Guardiola's the same. It's almost like, oh well, if you don't play the way we want you to play and we struggle to beat you, it's not fair. So Klopp can be as hard to like.
That's what Mourinho was saying when he said, "Oh, if I behaved like Klopp did on the touchline," and we saw Klopp really angry in the first half. He said, "I'd be off and I wouldn't be here, and it would be different because Jose feels that he's treated differently to Klopp," which was a bit what Mark is saying.
Yeah, he got angry over the disallowed goal, and he kept going back. It was a really close offside. I'm like, yeah, okay, this is offsides.
But when you're in the stadium, I mean, there were fans yesterday, Mark. So you maybe didn't hear as much as we used to before when it was all behind closed door, but. Klopp shouts so loud. I mean, he's so loud all the time, and he's so on it, isn't he?
Yeah, I think that the crowd are making a difference, because until the crowd's been back in, we've hardly seen any touchline rows or bust-ups, as they call, between the coaches and manager, because there's no audience to play in front of. But I think Jose, with the crowd there last night, obviously it was all the Liverpool crowd, and they were very noisy for 2,000 people. I think Jose uses that as the pantomime villain. It gives him energy, and he likes to play up to a little bit. Right. And I think we'll see more of it now that the fans are back in. Well, until we change tiers again, obviously.
Yeah. Rhys Williams, who I think would have been like 5th or 6th, I think a year ago, he was playing for Kidderminster. Yeah. He had to start because of the injury crisis. I think we need to also underscore the number of players who are missing for Liverpool, because I think that is...
Jose said it's only Van Dijk.
Yeah, okay. It's only Van Dijk because he has trouble counting. I know he runs out of fingers, right? But they got a performance out of him. But more importantly, Curtis Jones, I mean... Thiago Alacantra can take his time coming back. Gini Wijnaldum, they can rethink the contract, because Curtis Jones looks legit, doesn't he?
Curtis Jones looks a really good player, a really silky player. He can move between the lines. He's just got everything. He looks very confident. He's got plenty of time. He creates his own time. Always looks like he's going to create a chance as well. It was about a year ago that he scored that goal against Everton in that derby game, and it was a great goal. At the time, you thought, this kid's got something. He's proved it, but he's done it very quietly. I think he's not got the attention he deserves, actually, for his performances.
I just think it's tremendous how he's come in. He looks so accomplished, so comfortable. And I think that's a big W for Liverpool's youth academy there.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.